Palworld has stirred up plenty of controversy since its release, and at the height of these controversies is the design of the Pals. Many share similarities to Pokemon designs, and I can definitely see the resemblance. Honestly, some of the Pals could be Pokemon, and I thought, what if they were? Well, in this video, I will be going over what stats, moves, and abilities the Pal Orserk would have if it were in Pokemon. Now, the easiest part would be figuring out what type Orserk would be if it were in Pokemon. Luckily, they have types, well, elements in Palworld that are very similar if not identical to the ones in Pokemon. In Palworld, Orserk is an electric dragon, and I couldn't agree more. Let's be honest, the first thing I said when I saw Orserk was that it looked just like Garchomp. It's like if Garchomp and Electivire had a baby, and those are two of my favorite Pokemon of all time, so it's amazing. I imagine if this game had evolutions, the first two stages would have been awesome too. There's only a few electric dragons in history, so this is a rare type combination and it would be nice to see. When it comes to the ability that Orserk would get, I have a few that would fit well and would really help it out. The first ability is Reckless. Now Reckless boosts recoil moves by 20%. It's not a huge increase, but it can make moves like Stab Wild Charge even more dangerous. Reckless isn't an ability seen by many Pokemon, so it adds to the uniqueness. On the opposite end, however, I want to give it Intimidate, which is a popular ability, but I feel it suits Orserk quite well. Intimidate lowers the foe's attack on entry. Even its PAL deck entry is intimidating, stating it sends electricity into its foe's wounds, roasting them from the inside out. Fights between Orserk end in the blink of an eye. And for its hidden ability, I chose a little bit of a nod to its Pokemon lookalike with a ground-based ability in Sand Rush. Now Sand Rush doubles the speed of the Pokemon in a sandstorm. Orserk would join Dracozolt and Dracovish as the only dragon types with this ability. Orserk would be a crazy addition to sand teams and can make him very viable in doubles. Now, it has great abilities, but does it have the stat spread to take advantage? Like Garchomp, I can see this being a pseudo-legendary with a base stat total of 600. First, let's start with the HP. I decided to give him a 90 HP, tied with another pseudo-legendary, Goodra. This Pokemon is not going to be tanky, but it does have Intimidate to help with its defense. Next is Attack. I can see Orserk being an exceptional physical attacker, so I gave it a base stat of 135. This ties in with two pseudo-legendary Pokemon, Metagross and Salamence. For its defense, I gave it a 90, which isn't crazy high, but not terrible for an Intimidate user. In fact, it's tied with Landorus Therian, which also gets Intimidate. Most electric types are special attackers, but I can't see that for Orserk. I gave him a 75, which, if needed, will get the job done with some powerful dragon or electric moves like a Draco Meteor. This ties with other physical attackers like Ursaring and Torterra. Special defense is more of its specialty. I can see this being able to take more special attacks with a base stat of 110. And with its higher HP stat, this does make it bulky enough to survive a good chunk of hits. 110 ties it with Pokemon like Snorlax and Latios. Lastly is its speed. It's not quite the Jet Shark like Garchomp is, but it's very close to his 102 speed with around 100. Tying it with Pokemon like Palkia and Salamence, but being able to outspeed important Pokemon like Urshifu or Gliscor. Now for the moves. And for the first time in this series, I'd like to give it an original move that plays off its PAL deck entry. The move Thermoelectric Bash would be a 100 base power physical electric move with a 20% chance to burn and a 10% chance to paralyze the foe. This would be a very good signature move for Orserk to have. Some other moves include Dragon Claw, Dragon Rush, Wild Charge, Crunch, Earthquake, Double Edge, and Shadow Claw. So, that's what it would look like if Orserk was in Pokemon. What are your thoughts? Would you have one on your team? Do you think I got it right? Let me know down below, and if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and if I should continue the series in the future, also let me know. Peace.